No.
All right, we are live. Just waiting for some people to join us here. I have a window up for the comments. Let's see, Leo is already in here. It says
Leo. Actually,
Valen.
Leo,
Of course, Valen's in here.
Leo, did you just email me at Delray Watch? Because somebody with the exact same logo as you just sent me an email.
Mook Rage, Hayden, Jerry's in here. Cornwall, what's going on, John? Triforce Rich, his first live show here. What's going on, guys?
Welcome, brother.
Jonah, Nassim, what's going on?
Oh, wow, we're already up to 54.
I know, dude. Leyland, hello, Jorian Fed, huge fan from Peru, especially the time teller. Saludos. Thank you, man. Gracias. All right, Casey, dude. Casey White is here. Dingerloot, Squad, David. All right, so we're getting a bunch of viewers in here, man. What's up, timekeepers?
Dude, everybody is going nuts with that wrestling move we talked about last stream.
Oh,
People
yeah,
are still
guys,
dropping some
keep commenting about our WWF moves. I'd love to hear that.
Javier Vega says, hello from Gramercy in NYC. Javier, I grew up on 21st and Lex, right in Gramercy Park.
Oh, dude. Elaine, hello from Miami.
Bienvenido a Miami. Yeah, man.
My move would be the wristwatch check. That's a good one, Tamme. All right, guys. So it looks like a ton of people are coming here. We're almost at 100 already. So, all right, guys. So you guys already know who I am. I'm the time teller. Also, Jory Goodman, T3, whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. I'm joined here with the one, the only Federico from Federico Talks Watches.
Why, thank you.
You probably know who he is as well, but if you don't, go ahead. There's a link to his channel. Very knowledgeable dude, knows a ton about watches. Subscribe to him. And Fed, yeah, introduce yourself, man.
Hey, guys. Well, my name is Federico. Most of you probably know who I am. Yeah, I talk watches on YouTube. And by the way, Brandon Sue says, hey, Fed, who cuts your hair? Well, Brandon, usually I'm clean shaven, but I was running an experiment of 3 weeks with no hair cutting to see how much I had left. Unfortunately, the answer is not much. But I'm going to the barber tomorrow. Don't be hating.
And I'm going to my barber on Saturday. And last time people brought up my haircut, they told me my barber was ripping me off. So thanks, guys.
Hey, Jordan, how about you donate some of your beard to my head?
Yeah, but my dad's asking me the same thing. He also has the same thing going on. So between you and my dad divvying this up, I have enough to go around. All right, so we're going to be talking about quartz watches, guys. Now, this is a heated debate in the watch world. Do quartz watches have souls? Now, we're not talking about ghosts or spirits. I'm talking about a soul in a quartz watch. What say you, Federico? And guys, in the comment section, sound off. What do you think about quartz watches?
Listen, I don't hate quartz watches. I just made a video saying I wanted to pick one up for my collection. I'm really starting to warm up with the idea, rather. But I also stated in another video that quartz watches don't have souls. And I think that's kind of where Jory picked his title here. Now, I'm going to, argue that point, and I just want to make it clear, though, having a soul and liking quartz watches are two different things. I think before we get into it, though, wristwatch check. What are you wearing, Jory?
I like wearing my watches catered to the topic of the video. So I'm wearing my Omega Constellation quartz. I believe this thing has a 5-jewel quartz movement. I know there's multiple jewels. But either way, not super impressive. I think it has a plastic housing, so not like an impressive movement, but multiple jewels and a quartz movement, fairly cool. What are you wearing?
But it's also very handsome. I love the way it looks.
Thank you.
I think I'm wearing the antithesis of a quartz watch. and I'm wearing the brand new, just released Zenith El Primero 21 skeleton double barrel chronograph.
Dang.
Which is like as far away from Quartz as you can get, but at the same time, not a Quartz hater. And this is actually not my personal watch. It just came into Delray today, and I'm doing the customary quality control that I have to do on every watch. You know,
nothing wrong with that, man. So, okay, again, guys, sounding off in the comment section, letting me know what you think about Quartz watches. So, okay, Boss Hugo, Mecha Quartz does have a soul. So, Fed, let's talk about this. So, I understand where people come from. I even understand where people come from when they say they don't like Quartz watches, because there's not as much going on. There aren't as many moving parts. There's not as many man hours spent, putting all the little pieces together in a mechanical movement. Therefore, it's less of a watch. But I disagree. And I get what they're saying. I'm more partial to mechanical movements. I'm a sucker for display case backs. It's like, I'm not a huge skeleton watch guy, but I love seeing all the parts moving together in order to, accurately tell you a piece of information like the time or date or moon phase or what have you. But I still think there are some interesting things about Quartz movements. But what say you? Well,
I'm going to start off by saying I'm going to come clean. And, I used to be a Quartz hater. And, I'm not going to deny it. I think I've seen the error of my ways a little bit. I've started to appreciate Quartz. But for the sake of this video, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, right? And I'm gonna tell you why I not necessarily don't like Quartz, but why I think it's less special. When I think of a watch, a mechanical watch, it's a luxury item. I mean, Quartz is better in every way. It's more accurate, it's more reliable, it's sturdier, it's cheaper to produce, it's cheaper to buy. I mean, Quartz is superior in almost every way. But we don't wear watches anymore to keep time. We wear them as an objet d'art. We wear them because they're special, because they are handmade, because there is some crazy engineering that goes into it. We wear them not to tell the time, but we wear them, quote unquote, to feel special. So I think that's why mechanical is number one in my heart, because honestly, if I just want to tell the time, I don't need a Quartz watch. I have my phone. So I think that's what a Quartz watch is missing that a mechanical watch has. And actually, to quote the best watchmaker of our time, Philippe Dufour, who, if you guys don't know who he is, he's the greatest living watchmaker at the moment. He said the first time he puts together a movement and it ticks for the first time, it's like he gave birth. It's a new life. So much labor, so many parts, and the sum of those parts and hard work is the first tick. And I thought that was quite a romantic statement, and I kind of agree with it.
Right, and I tend to agree. I know I'm wearing a Quartz and you're wearing definitely not a Quartz. And I know that I make a large argument for instance, the story and lineage behind the Seiko Tuna and the 7 C46 movement. But I'm still a purist, and I think a lot of people kind of know that about me. Huge car guy. When it comes to cars, the cars I own currently are all 6-speed manuals, actually. And although I think these new Teslas that get immediate torque and can go incredibly fast off the line, like immediately, that's really cool and that's really fast, and I'm not taking away from anything performance-wise. But when it comes to driver input, like, I don't want a car that drives itself. I still want to have something to do with it, and I still want to feel the linkage, and I still want to feel the rumble and hear the rumble of the engine and the timing and all of that.
That's the thing, Jory. I mean, I really don't like Teslas. I mean, I know they're great, but they're quiet. They don't make noise. There's no emotion. It's a
Right.
cold, hard product.
It pretty much takes driving out of the equation. And that's my issue, like performance wise and efficiency and everything. It like electric cars may exceed the performance they may already have compared to, you know, an internal combustion engine. But I wouldn't be interested in it. I will be that guy when all the cars are like the Jetsons, like floating around. I'm going to be that dude on the ground on the broken streets with his internal combustion engine, because I like the feel, I like the input, and I like the idea of an engineer, you know, building this engine to certain specifications and making a car go. And so I feel that way similarly about watches, and I understand the romance behind it. And one of the things about watches that is crazy is that there are so many parts in mechanical movements that are put together, and without electricity or anything, it's able to, like you said, come to life and then accurately and consistently, for the most part, like give you information, like pertinent information. That is ridiculous to me. And that's why I think mechanical watches are so freaking cool.
Absolutely. And you know, once again, I'm going to clarify. You know, I said I was looking for a quartz watch because one of the downfalls of mechanicals is even the hardest, you know, sports watch, you still always kind of, not have to, babying it is the wrong term, but I always at least personally worry about them a little bit, how I wear them, you know, there's maintenance costs and all that. And that's why I was looking at like a Breitling Aerospace, because I get the beauty of a design that I like. I get the craftsmanship, you know, Breitling made the case out of premium materials like titanium, and I get the functionality of a quartz. And while a lot of people said, Federico, you would spend that much on a quartz, I'm like, yeah, it's not comparable to a G-Shock because the finishing is better, the materials are better, it's a better product. And I would love to have one on my wrist and add one to my collection, but I wouldn't say that that watch, you know, has, you know, this esoteric kind of term we're going for, which is having a soul. I personally reserve that for mechanicals.
Right. And again, I feel like we need to harp on this because people are bringing it up. Yeah, performance-wise, you know, quartz watches are really impressive. They are accurate. They're super accurate, way more accurate than a mechanical could ever be. And they're very consistent and reliable. And, you know, maintenance is incomprehensibly lower than a mechanical watch. But there's something that, and just like Fed said, it's kind of esoteric. It's kind of frou-frou. It's kind of out there. Something only a watch enthusiast would be able to acknowledge, that feeling of like something else that a mechanical watch brings. And speaking of sports watches, there's a reason why I love the Seiko Tuna. There's history behind it. It's a really, really impressive, unique quartz movement, but it's a quartz movement. So if you bang that thing on something or knock it, give it a really good knock, I'm not going to have to worry about re-regulating that movement, that watch. I can pretty much always rely on that thing to work. Now, would I rather have the automatic version? Not really, because here's why. It goes against the story of why the Seiko Tuna was actually invented. It was originally invented with a mechanical movement, but it was immediately, like within a couple of years, changed to this high frequency or high torque, I should say, quartz movement, because it wasn't sturdy enough mechanically. So they found a way to design a watch that would be incredibly, immensely resilient in very, very harsh conditions. And they chose to utilize a quartz watch. And so I'm not going to go against them. I'm not going to tell them what I think is better. I just, ultimate sports watch for me, ultimate tool watch, I should say, is the Tuna. And I know a bunch of people are going to light me up in the comment section for that.
But that's not wrong. I mean, listen, let's be honest, guys. People like real divers nowadays, they dive with diving computers, and yeah, they might have a mechanical watch for redundancy, but more often than not, it's a quartz watch for redundancy. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we can't argue that these mechanical watches are tools any longer. Could you use them as tools? Sure, you can, but you know, they've become obsolete for that purpose, unfortunately.
Right. Well, so someone, let's acknowledge the comment section real quick. Someone wrote something really interesting. Mr. Sevenify wrote, "Call me crazy, but I love the tick." I think he's referring to the tick of a quartz watch versus, you know, the more steady sweep of a mechanical watch. That is interesting because I don't hear very many people say that. What do you think, Fed?
I don't hear many people say that at all, but I can tell you this. I love the tick of a quartz watch when it ticks accurately on the seconds markers of the dial. And that is only done in super high-end quartz watches. More often than not, the hands are always slightly off. And that just drives me nuts. I can't have that.
Well, this brings us to something interesting because there are some people that I've heard. I brought up some really weird watches with jumping second hands. And people are like, oh, yeah, I love that. And for me, it just blows my mind because, yes, the engineering that it takes to develop a mechanical movement with jumping seconds is incredibly impressive. It's just so useless to me.
Well, I mean, it was created. It's deadbeat seconds was created so people can more accurately set their watch, and it is genuinely a complication to make. But once again, nowadays it's only done for artistic reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of watches, not a lot, but most watches now that are developed with deadbeat seconds have a switch on it to change it from running seconds to jumping seconds, which is just great. Again, that's difficult to do as well, but it's kind of
is that true? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a few. I did a video on it actually.
Well, give me one example. I'm not arguing. I'm just curious.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to look back at my video.
I'm gonna watch that video.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I learned something new every day.
Crazy, right? And that's another really difficult thing to develop on a watch, to make it switch from one to the other mechanically. But yeah, totally useless in my opinion.
Useless, but fun. You know how it is.
Right. RA writes, "Oh hell no, driverless cars are just depressing in my opinion." I agree. Okay, so everybody here is commenting Grand Seiko, Grand Seiko, Grand Seiko, Grand Seiko. Yes, Grand Seiko has a really, really impressive quartz movement. And
spring drive.
Yeah, and spring drive, which, although technically utilizes a quartz, I do not consider a quartz movement because the watch is not powered via quartz.
Well, it's not powered via quartz, but it's regulated via quartz, and that's the hard part.
Right. Yeah, I guess, but I still think there's a lot more. It's over 50% mechanical. I think that's my argument.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you can't argue with the quality of a Grand Seiko spring drive. The quality of the finishing is better than Rolex. It's better than Omega.
Absolutely.
And this is not case finishing. I'm talking movement finishing.
Right.
You know, it's a true luxury piece. But what makes watchmaking so special, like when the first watch ever ticked, God knows when that was, the 14, 1500, my watch history sucks. But what made watchmaking a thing is being able to regulate the power to accurately tell time. And when Seiko makes one of these gorgeous movements, but they regulate it by a quartz crystal, that is what changes everything for me. Now, it's not a purist form of watchmaking. They took out the hard part, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not good. It's better. Of course, it's better, but they took out what is watchmaking, if that makes any sense.
No, absolutely. And again, I give props to Seiko. A lot of these people are bringing up Grand Seiko's non-spring drive quartz, and again, they have a
Well,
very
those are
highly,
fantastic.
yeah, incredible watches. Even since before the 2000s, they were coming out with incredible quartz movements. Some people here are bringing up the Bulova Lunar Pilot. That's another very prolific watch. I've never heard Fed talk about it. I've mentioned it multiple times on my channel. Fed, is this in your wheelhouse?
I just don't. And I'm Googling Bulova Lunar Pilot.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know what the Bulova Lunar Pilot is.
Okay. It's the Bulova Space Watch.
Exactly.
Yeah, listen, precisionist, right? High frequency quartz. I think the design is awesome. Bulova is a brand that's only a shadow of their former self, unfortunately. But that's a really cool watch. For the money, great history, great provenance, but it's got to compete against a ton of other really good options at that price point.
Yeah, I think you're getting a whole lot of provenance and a whole lot of really interesting watch in history for sometimes under $400. I think that's really impressive. If you're looking for a chronograph with some legit history behind it,
there's very few with legit history behind it at the price of that Bulova, and the Bulova is the real deal.
Right, absolutely. The Bulova is not trying to be anything else. It's not an homage to anything else. It's actually a legit watch that's been to space. That's crazy. That is crazy. Let's see. People are bringing up, Fed, another thing I've never heard you talk about. I'd love to have this conversation with you. Kinetic movements, man. What do you think about these kinetic movements?
Okay. I'm going to, once again, be honest. I don't have much experience on them. But I can tell you that, in my opinion, I don't love them. I had a friend who owned a few Kinetic Seikos. I've owned a Kinetic Seiko. And the thing is, yeah, they recharge the battery, and that's awesome because you don't have to change the battery. But the thing that always fails on that movement is the capacitor, which is basically what holds the charge when you wind it. And there's no way to service that.
It's a reserve, essentially. So one thing I've heard of, which is a bummer because I think it's a really cool watch. Forgive me, Fed. I know all the reference numbers. The Seiko Sun 065, which is their GMT diver, their Paddy GMT diver.
I almost bought that.
Really cool watch. It looks incredibly nice. I've heard a ton of the capacitors blew out on that watch, and it was not holding power, which is a huge bummer because for such a really interestingly designed watch with such a unique movement in it, you'd think they would step it up and make sure it worked. But
no, and to repair it was my friend was $150, which is much cheaper than any mechanical repair. But the watch is only $280.
Yeah, it's also a third of the price of the watch. So it's
so what do I think? I think the technology is cool, but I would say they are just not, and I'm generalizing here, I could be wrong, but from my experience, they're generally not worth it. Their failure rate is too high.
Right. I actually don't own any Kinetic watches, for people asking me. Wow, numerous people harping on solar powered watches, solar.
Super cool. I mean, EcoDrive, Citizen, super cool concept, super innovative. But once again, innovative in a technology standpoint. I mean, I think it's really cool tech. I just don't know if I consider that. I mean, it is watchmaking. It absolutely is watchmaking, but it's not the watchmaking I'm interested in. It's super cool technology.
I have this this could be a topic for another stream even, but I have this weird romantic idea of going on a hike just with a Hamilton khaki field mechanical, my World War II reissue, right? And just hand wind, 50-meter water resistance rating. I guess you could swim in it, but whatever. No real huge technology. Just going out in the wilderness with really bare bones things. And that sounds cool, right? That sounds really cool, romantic, and having just that. But the fact is, I'd probably rather have like a G-Shock Mudmaster on if I'm
Dude,
gonna be.
are you kidding me? If someone told me right now, Federico, in 24 hours, we're dropping you off on a deserted island, and like you have like a week to escape, I'd say like keep every excuse my language, keep every mechanical watch I have. I'll leave that at home. Give me a range man or something.
Right, exactly. That's like so. That's what I'm getting at. Like, I would honestly, and this is why I've said it on my channel. I recommend everybody have a solar powered watch in their collection. One of my favorite watches is the SSC 081, which is the solar chronograph compass. Such a cool field watch, and it's solar, really good movement, super accurate. Is it like the most prestigious movement inside that watch? No, but it's also a really, really reliable, fun watch to wear. And that's where I think these things are quite useful, actually.
Sure, no, absolutely. But I just thought of something else. Once again, if someone told me we're dropping you off on an island tomorrow and you have to escape, I'd say keep my Rolex. Don't even give me a G-Shock. Just give me a sat phone. If we're going as far as like technology, I'm like, hell, keep every watch-related accessory. Give me a sat phone.
Yeah, exactly. I need to call like the Marines to get me out of here.
Or actually, maybe we can go with like luxury quartz. Give me a Breitling emergency.
Oh, dang. Really cool watch.
By the way, if you pull that thing out and you get rescued, it costs like 15 grand.
Yeah, there's a huge price with it.
Yeah, I mean, you get saved, but you're in debt for the rest of your life.
Exactly, right. Okay, so some people have brought this up to me. I think I saw it in the comment section. Love to talk to you about it real quick to finish it up. There's a lot of watch companies right now. Some really cool watch companies that I'm a fan of. I know Frederic Constant did it. I know they're not the only ones, but for some reason I follow them on Instagram, so I see a lot of their ads because it's the new thing. They're making these dressy, luxurious hybrid smartwatches. So it looks like you're wearing an analog watch, right? But it tethers to your phone, and you're getting all the functionality of, say, a Fitbit or an iPhone.
It's the beginning of the end.
I know. I am repulsed by them, quite frankly. But guys, sound off in the comment section. What do you think about companies doing this?
Dude, the iWatch or the Apple Watch, it's a great piece of technology, but my phone rings enough as it is. Like, I have to answer 50 emails a day as it is. Like, I want my watch to just be a watch. I want to enjoy kind of like the simple things in life. Everything is a gadget. Shit, even my car gives me reminders when I sit in it nowadays. I mean, and like to make my watch something so pure into one of these hybrid things, no, not for me, not a chance.
Yeah, and another weird thing is, like, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. I use my watches as like an escape, a quick getaway. Like, that's why I laugh. I told that story on your live stream the other day about how someone sat next to me at a restaurant and then later wrote to me and was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you were at a normal people restaurant." Like, I didn't know. And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm a normal person." But what I always laugh about with Connie, my girlfriend, is someone's like, if one of my fans or viewers, I hate saying fans, I'm sorry, one of my viewers sees me.
I've said that too. I don't.
It feels so stupid and gross. But anyway, if one of my viewers sees me in person, I'm probably going to look like a total doofus because I'm going to be just staring at my watch. Like, that's all I do. And it's like, it's because it's an escape. It's like a piece of art, a really cool thing on your wrist to wear. And it's just a watch. It just takes me away from my phone that I already spend way too much time on. And it's just a getaway. I don't need another doodad telling me a bunch of stuff on my wrist. It's just...
No, exactly. As I said, it's a pure thing. Some people collect paintings. Some people collect magic cards. Like, I collect watches. I love looking at watches. I spend stupid amount of time analyzing watches. It's a hobby. You know what I mean?
No, you're so right. Someone, Tamme wrote, Don't apologize, Jory. You have groupies now. I have groupies. Yes. I will build an army.
the weird world of YouTube.
I know, so bizarre. But yeah, guys, so it looks like most people here in the comment section are on the same page. I've seen a few people saying like, oh, Quartz, no soul. Quartz have no soul. I think for the most part, Fed and I are on the same page, right, Fed?
Yeah, we are. I mean, listen, you have delved into Quartz a little bit more than I have. I was, as I said, a self-confessed hater, and I'm coming around, and I appreciate them now. But as I said, there's a difference between believing, quote-unquote, Quartz has no soul, and quote-unquote, Quartz is bad. Because I don't think Quartz is bad. I just don't think it's the same thing. That's my point.
And I will agree with you. There's no argument there. They're different. I actually am a big fan of both. More partial to mechanical, but like I said, one of my favorite watches, the Tuna, Quartz, and I love it to death. So guys, we're going to finish this up here. I want to thank each and every one of you. Looks like there's around 220 people in here. Thank you so much. I think that's the most I've ever had on a live stream on this channel. Still pretty new to it, but I want to thank each and every one of you. I love you guys. I want to thank Fed. I love you, bro. Thank you so much, Fed.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you hosting me in your channel, and you know, I look forward to these talks, buddy. Just hanging out with another watch geek.
Heck yeah. So we're going to be doing these conversations consistently every Thursday, and probably going to be on Fed's channel next Thursday. So please, there's a link to his channel below. Go ahead, subscribe to him. Again, super knowledgeable dude, and you can tell, really cool guy. So please join us for these consistently. Also, guys, shameless plug for my other channel, my Time Away vlog channel. Link to that in the description below. Please subscribe to that. It would mean the world to me. I get a ton of questions, as I'm sure Fed does, about a ton of non-watch related stuff that I don't really want to talk about on the Time Teller channel. So subscribe to that, and you'll see more of that. But guys, thank you so much. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, here with Federico. I didn't invent time. I just tell it. Have a good one, guys.
Take care.